Damn, Michelle. You looking good in that camo, girl. You know what I'm saying? So, here's my question.
Yes.
Who do we have with us right now? Who is this? Who am I talking to?
This is Michelle Boss.
Michelle Boss. The Michelle Boss. If you don't know who Michelle Boss is, just go to Twitter. That's all I'm going to say. Go to Twitter, and then after you leave Twitter, go to TikTok, type in Michelle Boss, and that's Michelle with 2 L's.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Boss with 2 S's.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes 3, depending on the account.
All right.
But yeah, go check her out. So, Michelle, thanks for coming on STAGVIEW with me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Well, so let's start with who is Michelle Boss? Like, how do we get here? What got us to this point?
Oh, Lord. Good old Tony. Tony and I we had actually just kind of started dating.
Okay.
And high sex drives and wanting to monetize that. We actually started off in camming.
Okay. How long were you camming before you made the switch over to OnlyFans?
Probably, I don't know, like 3-4 months maybe,
Okay.
if that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd it go? Because I know camming can be a harsh world. That's a tough place to make it in because you got to be so consistent and regular with your cams and on a schedule. Like, how did that work for you?
It actually worked really well. But it probably with being a new account too, like a lot of the algorithms and stuff, you know, they push you out there when you're new.
Gotcha.
So, but I mean, we did well.
Did
we
well?
Did real well, yeah.
Do you still cam now?
I don't.
You don't?
I do live video calls.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't cam.
All right. Would you go back to camming?
We've thought about it. We keep our accounts active.
Okay, just
Yeah.
in case. And
Yeah.
posting something every 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. So, Tony's your partner.
Yes.
Okay, that's hubby.
That's hubby.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
Cool. And so when you guys got started, when you said you were camming, were you guys swingers before you were camming, or did you start camming solo together and then through camming kind of start exploring more in your relationship and like growing from there?
You nailed it there. Yeah, we kind of entertained the idea just with learning more about each other, learning more about. So camming really opened my eyes up to so many kinks, and learning about different fetishes and things like that, and then opening up the conversation for him and I to talk about things that we were into and, you know, things that we desired. So it kind of like being in the lifestyle and then creating content all just kind of came together and has developed and evolved throughout doing OnlyFans.
I mean, that's kind of how it goes. I think like everybody has something that like cracks the door, and then once you crack the door and you see what's inside, you're like, oh my god, oh shit, look at oh, hey, you know, oh, I didn't even know I like that. Like, oh, that's cool. Ooh, can't do that, but that's cool.
Yeah, you do learn things that you don't like so much too.
Facts.
But
Facts.
It's lesson learned.
So once you got out of the camming space and got into the, you know, the independent content creating and collabs, what would you say has been like one of the best experiences now that I'm assuming you're doing that with the OnlyFans and things of that nature?
Oh boy, probably the best experience out of everything right now is all the amazing people that we meet. Gotcha. You know, being from Indiana and being from the Midwest and just how closed-minded people could be. But then when you get into this and you realize everybody's just so accepting.
Yeah.
There's, you know, people just, they accept what you do and don't judge. That's the other thing.
Facts.
So many people judge.
Facts. That's true. I think when you get into content and start really getting to know the people behind the content, you realize that a lot of people are into a lot of different things. You know what I mean? So you kind of get a kind of fluidity with people because you kind of let your guard down in a sense of you stop seeing people in their stereotypes and start seeing people in who they are. So it's a lot different, I think, as you start to open yourself up and start to, you know, connect with different people. You start going, okay, that's cool. Okay, I see where they're coming from. That may not be for me, but I see where they're coming from, and I'm cool with it, being around it, being a part of it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep, absolutely.
So, you know, with that being said, developing those relationships and kind of cultivating new relationships as you kind of collab and get to know people and things of that nature, I think it's kind of like beautiful. And I'm assuming that that's happened a lot for you.
Oh yeah. I mean, a totally different mindset, really. I mean, even coming into the lifestyle was a whole change in mindset too. You know, I can remember with my ex and meeting people that are like, oh, those guys are swingers, like, ugh. But then until you really know what it's about and like how many different I guess, boundaries people have, and then you make it your own, like,
Yeah.
people are cool with that. It's
Facts.
accepting, and it's just, all around just good.
Would you say, like, how I kind of interpret it is it's kind of like a freedom that you get that comes with, like, being in this lifestyle and having that fluidity to be a cool person and just, like, be open and free to be you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to look over, I'm like, damn, Michelle, you looking good in that camo, girl. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you're like, there's like, your husband's not gonna be like, yo, what the fuck?
Right.
And my wife's not gonna be like, what the fuck? It's like, damn, yeah, everybody in the room's like, yeah, yo, she look good in that camo. You know, it's one of a very accepting and full and fulfilling place. You know what I mean? You don't have a lot of bad here. There is some bad, but it's very few and far between.
Right.
So,
there's always gonna be a few bad.
So speaking of the bad, because I love to talk about a little bit of the bad, a little tea, not too much. But have you had any experiences in this arena so far, whether it be like at an event or with a collab or anything like that, that's just left a bad taste in your mouth?
There was one. Yeah. Just awkward during the filming.
Yeah.
A little too overly handsy beforehand.
Yeah.
And, that wasn't really something that we were here to. It was one of those ones where I'm here to film.
Yeah.
In out type situation.
Yeah.
And then there was other awkward parts because Tony always comes with me. I don't travel alone. That shit freaks me out. And he kept closing the door. So Tony couldn't see. And I was like, I literally jumped up and opened it back up.
Yeah.
And then he went through and closed it again. I was like, okay, this isn't, you're just giving me bad vibes. And then, we were all in a group text message together discussing things. The next day, he sent me a message directly. Yeah. Without him being in. I'm like, we don't play that game.
I got you.
We don't play that game. So, but that was it. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it's still like, you got to respect some boundaries there.
Yeah. So that's one thing I think 100%, like, you have to know. And it gets blurred, like, because there's friendships, you know what I mean? But I think when it's a friendship versus when it's business, because women are very, straightforward with how they communicate. Like, when me and you communicated, we text in our own separate text for a minute, and then we had a group text, you know what I mean? So it's like, if I can have a platonic text message thread with you outside of that, the relationship is obviously, whatever he did is obviously on an egregious side and gave you the creepies, like,
exactly.
Not you.
Exactly.
And that's not good.
Yeah. And I did on that time, I did call him out on that.
Yeah. But sometimes you need to. And, you don't make it public, like, as far as, like, who and what, when, where, how. But, and even in that situation, like, I don't need to tell everybody what's going on with you.
Right.
But I need you to know how you made me feel in this situation, because you may make somebody else feel that way. And I want you to understand where my actions lie, so you're not asking me to collab again later, because that's going to be a solid no.
Right. Exactly.
So I get it. And I think you handle it. I know how you are. So I know you handled it with, as professional and precise as you could when it came to that situation.
Yes. Yeah.
The boss on the end of your name ain't for no reason.
Right.
So yeah. I get it. So from the bad, now back to the good. Mm-hmm. So what has been your most, like, enamored collab that you just were like, I can't believe I'm here?
Oh, Lord. It's more, I guess, to me, it'd probably be a toss-up in between my very first time that I did when I came down to Tampa and did a collab house. And, like, we hosted everyone, and, there's a gangbang, and there's just all this stuff going on. And, I'm going in, balls to the wall, first time doing it, like, okay, let's go. So that was a big eye-opener. And just days and days of shooting, too, in a row.
Yeah.
So either between that and my most recent thing that I did, which was like a very mild BDSM thing, but like in a dungeon with some rope and
some
restrained.
Some shibari?
Well, this guy said that this is actually, from what he does, shibari is considered shobari. So he actually used like real rope. And I have rope burn and a couple bruises. Yeah, I got this little bruise right here.
Okay, he put in some work on you.
Yeah.
So that was your first BDSM experience?
Like real stuff. I mean, Tony's tied me up a couple times.
Yeah. So can we segue into a little talk about that? Because
absolutely.
I think that there's a set type of woman that can do BDSM. Like, I'm not sure that every woman is capable of it. Like, you strike me as a very, you're not, I don't want to say, I don't know how to say it. Like, you have a bravado about yourself. Like, you carry yourself with with an attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's hard for me to imagine you knowing you to being tied up. So,
oh, it was totally out of character for me. I mean, our whole scene was I was a lazy housewife. And like Tony even had to talk shit to me, and that was out of his character. And I mean, because it was a whole setup. I mean, we really set the scene for all this, and like, I mean, I got slapped and called a bitch, and like, just things that I would. I mean, I don't mind getting a little slap here and there, but like, he fucking slapped me.
He gave you some power behind that.
Yeah. So it was totally out of character for me, but I know my fans are going to love it.
Okay, but hold on. Let's not talk about the fans yet. Let's keep it on you.
Okay.
So when it was all done, or let's say while it was happening, right? If you don't mind us getting too deep, were you getting turned on from that? Like, were you was it in a moment where you were like, oh my, like, because you get slapped sometimes and you have like oh my God, this person just slapped me, and it's like a fight, flight, or pleasure thing, and like. How did you deal with that? Because this is the first time I'm guessing a man has hit you like that in this scenario,
right?
Sexually. So it's like, okay, his dick's out, and he just slapped the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was tied up, but no, we had signals and things like that for if we had to cut a scene or something got to be too extreme or whatever. I actually ended up cutting in the first scene because the first scene was being face fucked by two guys.
Yeah.
And at one point in time, he held my nose and he was like, breathe out your ears, bitch. And I was like, oh shit, I can't do this. So I gave the signal, like, because I had been trying to catch my breath and I couldn't do it. And they were very large men.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we had a cut scene. And he cut it right away when I gave the signal. So it was good. They let me catch my breath. They untied me. Like, it was all good. It was all good.
I don't think BDSM gets a proper representation in mainstream media or in mainstream porn, because a lot of guys think that BDSM is about beating the shit out of this girl until she submits. You had the whole Heaven POV thing where his vision on BDSM was not consistent with what real BDSM is. And people who've practiced these things, because I have a whole extreme kink on my side, so I know, you have to be extremely responsive and you have to be aware of who you're working with and what you're doing, because you have somebody's life in your hands. You know what I mean? So those signals are immediate, and to hear that is just like beautiful, because that's something that, makes the experience better.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And gives a woman a safe feeling.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yep. Especially when you're going through something like that, and because you're pushed to your extremes, right? Like, so I learned something so new about me and like how much I could actually take, and how much I was telling myself to keep taking too. Yeah. Like, so it's a whole mind game within it too. And
it's not you versus them or you versus how much you can take, but it's more like you versus yourself. Like, mentally, you're like, oh, I could go longer. He can go deeper. I can take that further.
Yeah.
Like, I can take one more slap.
And he explained it very well. He's like, you're gonna climb and climb and climb and climb till you get to a certain point, and you're going to think that you can't do it. But then when you do and you let yourself go, that's where the orgasm type comes from. And I did get to experience that. And the fact that it was caught on film is even better.
Because now you will always have, like, so your fans have that share that moment with you, but you have that moment.
Yeah.
So like, my thought process on life is we are never more beautiful than we are right now. And we can never get the moments that we're in back that we have right now. So live in the moment. And I feel like that itself is what you just experienced. That's the beauty of life. When people say, what is life about? It's about having those moments that you would have never thought you were going to have in a million years, and then they take your breath away.
Absolutely. It's something where, if you think about it with all your senses, you can remember what it smelled like, what it looked like. Like, then you know that you're really being present to what's going on.
Yes.
And if you can picture it in all of your senses, then it'll stay with you.
Facts. That's something that I've really tried to instill in, like, myself and in our relationship. Like, when we go somewhere or we do something, I'm always like, yo, Like, just take a minute, put your phone down. Let's not take a picture. Let's just be here. Like, let's just be here, be present. You know, it's just fun.
Oh yeah, and we have a hard time doing it. Even being in our industry that we're in, when we have to be constantly, you know, getting back to the phone. So yes, taking that moment to step back and just be.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
What's up. So that is definitely one of the wildest experiences that you've had so far.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it was wild for sure.
So, you know, I've seen a lot of you on TikTok, like that. You seem to be a queen on TikTok. How have you managed to grow so fast on TikTok? I know you have multiple accounts, you do things of that nature, but like, you have a special je ne sais quoi about yourself when it comes to like how I've been on your lives. I've seen you getting ready, you know, the way you talk to your fans, the way you interact with people and things like that. Where does that come from? Is that like a natural thing that you just always have been able to do? Or did the camming and did that kind of like push you into it?
I would say that I feel like the motivation to keep doing it and keep growing and keep challenging myself comes from the people that I do meet that are online, especially the couples and the women. The women that reach out to me and they're like, I love your fucking body confidence. It made me go do XYZ. So just being able to do that, that keeps me going. That's what I look at. I love making those relationships with with the followers.
That's what's up. Do you feel like because of the way you carry yourself and your confidence online and what you show and what you're willing to talk about, do you think that you've become like maybe like icon for some women when they follow you like that? Because I mean, realistically, I mean, you're a boss bitch most of the time. You go in there doing your thing, and I could see people getting behind you in a way. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, there's people that, I mean, I've never even met before, but we still, especially women, I'll talk to the women. The men are just all trying to fuck. But the women will come to me and, you know, with even just having an Amazon storefront, with keeping some of my bathing suits in there or whatever, they'll be like, I bought this and my husband absolutely loved it. And I just wanted to tell you that, you know.
Yeah, because they see themselves in you. Like, you're a mom, you know, you carry yourself, you take care of yourself, you know what I mean? But you have the mom bod. You got the hot mom bod. Like, we see you at the baseball game, everybody like, hey, Miss Boss, how you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you get that.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I could see why a lot of women would resonate with that. You know what I mean? And you're doing a great job as being a pretty good example. You know what I mean? I know you're a little bit off camera, so I know how you are and how you carry yourself, and it's top flight. You know what I mean? So that's fire. So what's next? Like, where do you see yourself next? Like, what is it that you want to do? You want to hop on this mic?
This right here. Like, I want to keep sharing my story. I want to keep helping as many women as I can. And if it's through a podcast, if it's through whatever, because what society does to us as women it's just so wrong. Like, putting shame on women liking sex and then throwing religion into it or beliefs. And so, like, totally breaking down your subconscious beliefs is huge to me. It's happened to me personally, and if I feel like I could help other women reach new bounds.
Yeah,
I want to help them, and I've actually been working on something. So I can't put it out there yet, though.
Okay. Hey.
But a way to help women kind of evolve from what we've been programmed to believe to actually believing what their own truth is.
Exactly. I like that. I'm a firm believer in. I think that everybody has a role to play, okay? There's no one set way for all women, okay? Every woman isn't a boss bitch. Every woman isn't a submissive sub. Every woman isn't going to be out, you know, to go to the gym every day. Every woman can't be non-monogamous. Some women need to be monogamous. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, there's also a whole nother side of men that need the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that when people are living their truth, and like really living for who they are and like won't accept anything less than what they want, I think you start aligning yourself with people who are in the same thing. And if you have somebody to look to, like all these guys, they look to like the top G's and they look at the other podcasts that are out there and they look up to these guys, not knowing the struggle behind it. And I think that a lot of girls get the same thing, but they get it in the sides where they're following these makeup influencers or these fashion models and things like that. And the moms are left out. Like, where's the cool moms that we can look to and be like, yo, that's what's up. Like, right. You got Kim Kardashian, but realistically, she's a businesswoman. Mm-hmm. She's not a cool mom who's out having a whole nother life and maintaining her family.
Right.
You know, so I definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing that. And if there's anything I can do to help promote that, you just let me know.
I'll let you know. I gotta finish figuring out how it's all gonna work up, but I got the idea and it's there.
Okay, I believe in you.
It's there.
I know it's gonna work. Anything I can do to help.
Yep. I tell Tony all the time. I'm like, it's gonna be we're gonna put a pause on it for a little while so I can do what I want to do. Like,
Facts.
I'm ready. So, but life happens too.
I mean, it does. So here's my question. So when you say it like that, you say, "Hey, I'm gonna put a pause on it." So right now, when you're working and you're doing your content, do you look at your content as full-time work, or do you get pleasure out of your content as well?
Oh, I get pleasure out of my content as well. Oh yeah. I mean, why trade in your 9 to 5 for 24/7? I mean, but we get to when I say put a pause on it, I just mean stepping away. I don't mean like completely stopping it, but just taking a little bit more time for me to do my research and my studying for what I want to do.
Okay.
But I mean,
I can respect that. I'm just curious, I can't wait to see what happens. So curious.
Excited.
All right.
Excited.
So I've gone through pretty much everything. I mean, I'm sure we can sit here and talk for hours about other things. Is there anything that you want the people to know?
Oh, what my favorite saying is, always, always be a light in this world of darkness.
All right, always be a light in this world of darkness. I can get behind that. That's a statement I can get behind all day. Yep. I think there's a lot of clout chasing and a lot of hating out here.
Yeah.
So I like that. Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I'm Lupe.
I'm Michelle Boss.
And where can they find you, Miss Boss?
Everything could be at michelleboss.com.
michelleboss.com. Y'all know where to find her, guys. Thanks for coming on STAGVIEW, and I hope to have you on again.
Yes, absolutely. We'll have to do an update, see if I made it yet.
Hey, listen, I'm down there. We can update every couple of months, all right? Let the people know. Cool?
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
STAGVIEW. Peace.